adorable little kitty cat. How you doing? How you doing? Looking extra cute today. Tell you what, even you, Todd, you 40-year-old trucker. I read my comments and I know that there's just a select few men that watch this. And I just want to say, yes, you are also an adorable little kitty cat. Okay. Speaking of which, where's mine? Cat check. Kitty cat. I, 29 female, am pregnant with twins. Congrats, queen. My fiance, 26 male, wants to give them stupid names. Classic man stuff. For sure. Except for the guys that listen to this, I know. I'll keep this short. I'm having twin boys. My fiance and I agreed that I would pick their first names and he would pick the middle names. That's a good thing, I feel like. Because nobody uses their middle name, really. But all right. I picked two cute, normal names that I thought would go well with his last name. He picked Batman and Spider-Man. What the fuck? Come on, man, what? He is completely serious. He says these are the names he's always planned to give his children, and he thinks that any little boy would love to have the middle name of a superhero. I'm not gonna lie, for attention, I do like those names. I'm not gonna lie. Like, come on, that's fun. Middle names are so not serious, and that'll always be a conversation starter, and it's so silly, but I don't know. My question is twofold. One, how bad would it be if our sons had stupid middle names? I don't think it's as bad as you think it is. I want to side with you, and I am on your side. He knows it's ridiculous, but also I really don't think it would make their lives that much different. Honestly, I think it would add to their lives in a good way, I think. Unless the Spider-Man liked the Batman more than Batman liked the Spider-Man, then that would suck. But either way, would it be something they resent? And two, is this worth an argument? I definitely think he's being an idiot, but should I just get over it, or should I try to stop this? Listen, I think naming a kid, especially, you know, if this is your first kids, it's very important. And if you're not on board fully, then I do think it should be a discussion. I think it is silly. It's very silly. And I don't know. I personally wouldn't do it, but I'm just trying to think of meeting a person in the wild and be like, oh, what's your middle name? And they're like, Batman. And I'm like, what is the story behind that? But I do think that since you're the one carrying them and, you know, giving birth to twins, I think you have the veto personally. And I always think that's the case because I'm assuming, I don't want to assume, but I'm assuming they're getting his last name, right? So I feel like you should be able to pick the first and middle names. So I think it's a further discussion needs to be had. And I think he shouldn't be able to stand against you and be like, no, they have to be named this. Then we have a problem, I think. Why are you marrying and raising children with a 12-year-old? I'm joking, but really, yeah, I get that. He is aware that these are going to be living, breathing human beings, right? That will grow into teens and adults with fucking ridiculous names, or may not even like superheroes. That's my thing. It's like, maybe they won't like superheroes. Like, it's one thing to name them, I don't know, like Legolas or like Aragon or I don't know, like a character that's not like a superhero, but like a character more so. I think that's different. Like, you're giving them just something man name. There's better names, I feel like. Anyway, naming them after superheroes is actually probably the best way to ensure they hate all things superhero related. So there's a hobby interest and they'll never enjoy sharing with dad, or maybe they love it. But I understand what you're saying. Can you guys maybe get a cat or a dog or like a fish or something that he can name or whatever he likes and go through picking first and middle names together? While you both deserve to have input in naming your children, your future children deserve to be treated like humans, like actual humans who have an actual life. You can even call the kids Spidey and Batman as nicknames if you want. You can even give the kids Bruce Wayne, Peter Parker as middle names. See, that's what I mean. That's actually a way better way of saying it. Yeah, like Bruce or Wayne or Peter Parker, those are great. You can even be Peter Parker as the middle name. That's good. I like that. But this is something I definitely be putting my foot down about. Yeah, and I mean same. Like, I'm putting myself in her shoes. I'd be like, no. But the whole Wayne or like Parker, those are cool. I agree with that. OP said, thanks. I will definitely put my foot down on the issue. Peter and Bruce is a good suggestion. I think he's just not thinking this through, to be honest. Yeah, probably not, because he's a dude, and it's just like, I hope he doesn't take it too seriously. If you're like, we're not doing that, then we have another issue. But I say just have a conversation with him. We have an update though next day, so we'll see what this says. The original post was locked, so I'm updating here. I was surprised how strongly people felt in the comments. I have a very unusual middle name, non-English, and I've never used my middle name for anything. That's kind of what I always thinking. I'm just like, who the cares, man? I don't know. I'm bed sitting right now. So I didn't think about it being used on resumes and such. I'd hire that person immediately. I promise my fiance is not usually as stupid as this idea makes him sound. They never are. Well, that's not true. We talked about it and I explained my reasoning and why these names would not be cute once they are adults. We agreed to compromise on Bruce and Peter. There you go. That's so cute. I love that. And I love that he was cool with that. He still likes his idea, but I think he will be glad later that I made him change it. I think that's a really good compromise. So I'm really happy you guys did that. Let me know what you guys think. Am I the asshole for rescinding my offer to bake cakes for my friend's wedding and potentially ruining their relationship? Rescinding your offer. Okay, I already know immediately that you're smart as okay, let's start reading. To preface, this wedding wasn't going to happen until COVID clears up. I'll be using fake names. Those involved are me, 22 female, the bride, friend, Cassie, 24 female, and her fiance, Adam, 25 male. I don't know what this accent is that I'm doing, but I'm gonna keep doing it. Cassie has always loved my cakes and asked me to make 8 for her wedding late last year. We agreed they'd be 1-tier cakes to be used as table centerpieces. Ooh, that's a great idea. I love that idea. Me too. Me too. We agreed that they'd be decorated a particular way that wasn't too elaborate. I was happy with the arrangement and super excited by the prospect. I know that you're English. Prospect? I think you are. Early January, she decided she wanted 3-tier cakes instead and wanted them decorated much more intricately. The intricacy wanted is nowhere near my ability. Oh, you could pull it off. I know you could, but that's rude. What she did, that's rude. I don't really have the free time to learn how to do it either. I have a lot on my plate in my day-to-day life, and I knew even doing the 1-tier cakes would be a little tricky, but absolutely manageable. I politely said I couldn't do that and tried to offer a compromise. I offered to find a way to do the 3-tier cakes, but more simplistic than she'd have liked. I also offered to get her a contact with a skilled friend of mine who I knew could do what she wanted. She'd have to pay, but the price would have been extremely good and they'd be beautiful cakes, worth every penny. She got very angry at this compromise effort. She called me selfish and told me I was sabotaging her big day. Then demanded I do it for her while getting a few of her friends to send me rude and disheartening messages. This was heartbreaking for me, but I told her I could no longer do the cakes and she got angrier. We haven't talked since that until yesterday. Okay, off the bat, she's a bitch and I'm on your side, okay? I know you could pull it off. I have a feeling that you can pull off anything, just the way you write. And I feel like you're really pretty. But also, that was just not cool. And then to get her friends to gang up on you, that's not a friend. Don't do anything for this person. Cut him off. I received a message yesterday, acting like nothing happened, asking me to do the cakes again because I owed her. She said I'd be a useless friend if I didn't. Bitch. I declined and she chewed me out again, saying things that were unnecessary and I'd rather not repeat. I'd had enough. This had already been stressful for me and I hated being dragged into it. I messaged Adam, sending him some screenshots, asking if he'd please make her stop lashing out. She was hurting, but I didn't deserve the things said. Good for you. Oh, so you reached out to her fiance. Oh, shit. Also, I'm just getting more and more British as we go. I didn't get a reply until today, where he apologized profusely. He told me she'd done this to another friend before me, and this was the straw that broke the camel's back for him. And he was going to call off the wedding until they'd been to counseling together. Oh my god, him holding her accountable. Canceling the whole thing. Wow. I thanked him for being understanding, but a few hours later, Cassie and her friends started harassing and threatening me. It's been horrible. My boyfriend is urging me to cut out Cassie, decapitate her from your life. But I can't help feeling like an asshole. If I'd made time to learn, this whole situation wouldn't be happening, so does this make me an asshole? Am I being selfish? He's reassured me that I'm not, but I could really do with an outside perspective. No, you beautiful little bean, you are a saint and you did the right thing. You absolutely should cut Cassie out of your life because that is a toxic bitch. Okay, let's see what the comments say. This is exactly WTF drama and OP needs to send one text. Stop harassing me or I will call the police for harassment. That needs to be the end of it. If she or her friends don't stop, call the police. You have all the text to back it up. Yeah, I wonder exactly what the threatening texts are because, you know, it's one thing to be like, or else I'm not going to be your friend, or it's like, or else I'm going to hire a hitman to come to your house and scare you in the middle of the night and to wake you up while you're sleeping and be like, I'm Batman, you know? Those are two different things. So, not the asshole, block her, block all her minions. You do not need this kind of harassment in your life. Agreed. And luckily, we have an update, so let's read it. Cassie is now cut out. Oh. There we go. As are her friends. People saying I was being a doormat were completely right, and those few saying I need therapy also were. Don't berate my girl like that. You handled this situation perfectly. It's okay. I mean, everybody could use a little therapy probably, but people are so brutal on Reddit. I've been actively looking for a therapist I click with. I used to be good at recognizing behavior akin to this. Girl, smart as fuck. Lockdowns have taken a toll on my mental health. A few people mentioned a contract style situation with a friend discount. I'll definitely do some thinking on that idea to try and help avoid situations like this happening again. For those saying I shouldn't have contacted Adam, I did on the sole basis that this was his wedding as well. I stand by my choice to contact him. I stand by you too. I stand right beside you. For those mentioning getting the police involved, if any further threats happen, I will. I've documented everything that's happened so far just in case. Thank you again for taking the time to hear me out, support me, and give judgment. I really appreciate it. I think she did the right thing. She decapitated her out of her friendship, out of her life. Love that. Everybody can use a little therapy, but nobody needed to tell her she needed therapy, I don't think. And yeah, no, I think she did all the right things. I'm with her. I'm with her. Is there any other updates? No, guess not. Comments say, for those saying I shouldn't have contacted Adam, why not? The bride was quite willing to contact other people to harass OP. All she wanted was Adam to shut it down. Yeah, I agree with that. That's just silly. I think most of the comments agree. This person's not the asshole. So that validates me. What do you think? Let's move on. Would you let your teen go? Like a job? Like, sorry, you're let go. Can you do that? A little bit of background about our family. We are, for the most part, chill, laid-back parents. We let our kids do a lot that some kids are probably not able to do. We're fun parents. We're the chill parents. Everything's cool. Hi all. Our teen daughter, 16, was invited to go boating and stay in a cabin on the lake with her friend and her friend's family. Okay, so she's not getting fired. Love that. They plan on missing school Friday and Monday. She would be coming back Monday afternoon and leaving Friday morning. The issue I'm having isn't that she has to miss school or that she's going on a trip. It's a friend I have never met before. Okay. I'm right here with you. Don't like that. They apparently hang out all the time at school and have hung out a few times with a mutual friend that I have met outside of school. I told her I want to call the parents and meet her friend before she goes. It's been a battle ever since and claims she's a good person and so is her family. Okay, I'm not doubting that. I want to make sure she's safe and that the parents are aware she's even coming. Trip is next weekend and I'm really debating on even considering this. Wouldn't the friend's parents want to confirm and talk to the other friend's parents anyways? Seems a little odd to me. She's fighting me, meeting her friend and talking to the parents. Yeah, immediately with my sneaky little teenage brain. No, I'm not a teenager. Thank you. Thank you for thinking so. I was a sneaky little teen though. Also, I'm kidding. I know I don't look like a teenager. But my immediate thoughts are she's either A, lying, and she's gonna go to this cabin and parents aren't there, adults aren't there, and there might be boys going or something's going on, a little party or something. Or two, she's just at that stage where she just doesn't want you, like, policing her, and she's just like, why do you gotta do this, mom? You don't need to ask. I'm not 5 years old. Blah, blah, blah. She might be saying that. 3, I don't even know if this counts, but I don't have a child, but I am very paranoid nowadays. I cover so many horrible cases and all this stuff, and I know too much about the internet and everything and yada, yada, yada. I would absolutely need to meet the kid and make sure with the parents that what's happening is happening, and probably meet them too, for sure. In fact, I don't think, I wouldn't care about the missing Friday and Monday school or whatever, you know, gotta let kids live and do stuff, but as long as their grades were okay, you know, to a certain degree. I don't know. I don't know how to parent. I don't know how to parent. I'm excited to figure it out one day, I think. I think I'll be like an okay mom. I don't really want to be like, I don't know. You never want to be like the fun mom. You want to be the fun mom, but then you also don't want to be like irresponsible mom, you know? Like, I feel like you're the fun mom, but you're also responsible, and I really like that. I think you got a good mix going on. I really like that. I think that's healthy. Not that you needed commenting on how you parent, but you're asking me actually, so yeah, you do. I think you shouldn't let her go until you confirm all that. Personally, that's what I think. But let's see what the comments say. I'm not a parent, and I don't know. I don't know how teenagers' brains work these days. Yeah, getting pushback on meeting the parents would make me instantly suspicious. Hopefully, it's just teenage embarrassment, but I also remember being 16. Also, yeah, exactly. Could be sneaky. OP said, I don't think it's embarrassment. She's had no complaints or issues about giving me phone numbers in case I, for some reason, need to contact them, which 99% of the time I don't unless I'm not getting a response from her. The whole thing is odd. I've met everyone she calls a friend at least once. I don't think it's a random boy because she does have a long-term boyfriend whom I know very well. I'm thinking about asking her boyfriend if he knows anything of this trip, but also don't want to put him in the middle of something that doesn't concern him. Yeah, I feel like this should be up to your daughter. It should just be between you and your daughter. I mean, he could be going, you know, that's what I mean. Like, he could be going and it could be another friend. It could be like a guy friend of his or something like that. So I feel like he won't be reliable, maybe. I asked her again today if she had a phone number to give me, and she'd send it to me later, but now it's going at 11 p.m. and still no contact number. I think at this point, it's just an automatic no, even if I do eventually get a phone number. That's fair. You're mama. You can do whatever you want. You need your kid to be safe. When I was 16 and I was camping with a friend and their family, I was nearly dying of alcohol poisoning in a field somewhere. Weird how our perspective changes when we become parents. That's immediately what I'm thinking of, man. OP said, yep, same here. Pulled the same shit with my parents. Ironically, that's how my daughter ended up being made. Oh no. And now here we are 16 years later. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Friend is a boy. That's what I think. I think friend's a boy, and he's either friends with her or friends with her boyfriend, and there's just going to be like a meetup at this cabin in the middle of or wherever. OP said that's a very real possibility. She has a long-term boyfriend that I know pretty well, and why they don't have a reason to pull something like this, teens are teens. I'm starting to think the reason she isn't telling me is because either A, no adults are going, or B, alcohol is involved and doesn't want other parents to bring it up. For sure. Is there an update? Is there an update? Please, God. Oh, yes, there's an update. Yes. All right. Here we go. Here's an update. Turns out it was a real trip. Okay. The parents weren't going, but were aware of their daughter and mine attending and planned to drop them off and pick them up our distance and planned to buy groceries for them. So there was no parents. She did lie. Unfortunately for my daughter, I don't feel comfortable with her going without an adult, especially on a lake. So she got her final answer and it was no. Maybe if she were honest with me from the start, I would have considered it. Perfect. Yeah, it was, you knew immediately. I feel like anybody over the age of, I don't know, like 20 would have clocked that immediately. If they were sneaky little bastards like me, I feel bad for my future kid. They're not gonna get away with shit because I was a little bastard. I was a little bastard with really strict parents and I still figured out how to just do stupid stuff. So sorry, future kids, if I ever have you. But I'm really glad that you said no. I feel like nothing could go right. With her going alone with her one friend, people could easily meet up, and you know, kids will be kids or whatever. But I think as a parent, that was a really smart way to go about it. But if there's any parents in here, let me know what you guys think. Even if she had been honest, you still wouldn't have let her go. I don't blame you. 16 years old, think they know everything, and that it's absolutely cool to be in a lake house with just friends there with them, because that's not how every horror movie ever starts. Exactly. She shouldn't have been dishonest, and those parents thinking it is okay is worrisome as well. See, those are the fun parents I'm talking about. Not fun, neglectful, irresponsible, and fun. They don't mix. Those make bad parents, in my opinion. I think. I don't know. From the outside, this does feel like helicopter parenting. At 16, she's almost an adult. Dude, 18-year-olds aren't even adults, basically. Whatever. And part of growing up is learning to manage independence, friendships, and trust. Wanting to call the parents and meet the friends makes total sense, especially if it's an overnight trip. But once that was cleared up, and it sounds like the parents were aware and involved, it might have been a good chance to show a little trust in your daughter's judgment. Who are you? She lied to her. She shouldn't get rewarded for lying. You could easily tell the daughter, like, if you told me the truth, honestly, probably would have let you go. I've been in that situation when I was a teenager, and my mom was like, if you do something bad, just call me. Like, I'd rather know, and you won't get a huge lecture about it. I just want you to be safe. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, that's really good. I don't like what this person's saying. It's also worth considering that if she didn't give you all the details up front, it could be because she anticipated the level of pushback and was trying to avoid conflict, which can sometimes be a sign that a teen feels micromanaged. Dude, who gives a fuck? They're fucking kids, dude. Not saying safety isn't important, it definitely is, but balancing that with giving her some room to grow can be just as valuable. Just something to think about as she gets older. I don't know. I'm usually like, yeah, I'm on the same. I don't agree with that. I don't know. She lied. And that's not a good learning moment. It's like, oh, you lied? Okay, you can go anyway. Then you're like, you're still the parent, and there's still a kid, and there's still danger. First of all, being at a lake cabin alone, 2 girls, God knows, Lord knows something's gonna happen that's bad. And maybe not, but why gamble with your child? That seems silly to me. Maybe I'm being a little strict. Let me know. I'm open to whatever you guys think. I disagree with this. My mom made the right decision. First, skipping 2 days of school at the start of the year is a significant ask. Oh, it's at the start of the year? That is a lot. It's not like it's just a weekend trip. At 16, the onus is on the kid to show she's ready for independence. And part of that is I can be upfront with my mom about the fact facts and be prepared to respond to her concerns. She failed to do that. And so how can the mom trust there would be a good decision making, even if it followed bad decision making, like say, hey, sorry, mom, we invited these guys over and we've been drinking and now it doesn't feel safe and we need help. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. This is a 4-day solo trip with 2 days of skipped school for two 16-year-olds alone who can't and don't drive. I don't really understand why a parent would say yes. It's an hour away. They could leave Friday afternoon and come back Sunday night. Also that, but yeah, I'm on the same page as this person personally. Yeah. I think you made the right decision, and I think the kid needs to learn how to pitch better, probably. Just kidding. They'll just learn how to tell the truth. It's like, oh, I probably could have just told the truth and she might have been cool with it. Or not. And you know what? She might just realize it 3-4 years from now that you were just trying to keep her safe. And yeah, that's okay. Sometimes it just goes that way. You're not supposed to be friends with your kid, you know? It like to the degree that they can just do whatever they want. You have no say over what they do. Like you can be friendly. Like I'm definitely friendly with my parents and I consider them like my people now. The people that I go to for like everything, but they were never like my bestie growing up necessarily. And maybe that's, I mean, to teach their own, but I feel like you can do whatever you want. I'm the cool parent, whatever. Like you can go on a solo trip for 4 days at 16 where you can't drive and stuff. It's just like, okay, like, I don't know. Kid definitely should have pitched leaving Friday after school and coming back Sunday. Cutting the trip from 4 to 3 would have made it a way easier to swallow ask. Heck, even leaving Thursday and coming back Sunday would be easier. Skipping a Friday is a lot easier than skipping a Friday and Monday. Also, a secluded lake house with 2 teens unable to drive does feel unsafe, so with the kid being cagey as the parent, I would probably also veto it if an adult isn't going to be there or nearby. And the comment under that says, they also specifically mentioned boating, and since they are unsupervised, I would add drinking to the mix. Unsupervised teens drinking and boating is a recipe for so many different kinds of disasters. Yeah, can't tell you how many people have drowned in those scenarios, like in like local places I used to live. My lord, it's really scary. And I feel like you shouldn't helicopter parent necessarily or think the whole world's out to get your kid or that like anything and everything can happen to your kid. But this is just like, I feel like it's parenting 101. Like, should I let my 16-year-old potentially drink alone and can't drive and go boating by themselves, potentially drown and like have boys over and all this? It's like, nah. I'm actually just gonna make sure they're home safe and they can learn from not lying. I don't know. Now I feel like I'm like mom mode right now. I just really don't want these teens to get hurt or something bad to happen. But I don't know. Maybe I'm being too strict. I have a lot to learn before I have kids. This is why I've waited so long, because I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready. There's so much learning to do. Again, sorry to my future kids. All I do is read and go over true crime and watch horror movies, and they're just gonna be like, nothing's gonna get past me, and you will be safe under my wing though, at least. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Let me know if I'm stupid. Chances are good, and I'll see you in the next one.